What's up, First Contention fans? Welcome back. We got a bonus question for you. Yes, a bonus question indeed. Sexual preference and sexuality is the big topic of discussion in the NFL ever since we've had a few players come out and admit to being openly gay. So now there's been a lot of talks as to whether or not it is appropriate to ask a player his sexual preference, whether it be the media, coaches, or teammates. Do you guys think that it's okay to infer or question a player's sexual preference? We'll start things off with you, Banks.
This is a question I don't know about because what would be considered over the line? Once you cross one line, what would be considered too far over the line? If you ask a girl, if you ask a player if he has a girlfriend, is that over the line? If he asks, do you like girls, is that over the line? I remember Des Bryant, fan of the Cowboys executive, asked him if his mom was a prostitute. Another one, Le'Veon Bell came out and said that this year they asked if he was homosexual. So what is theoretically over the line? Because the NFL is a private entity. They don't have to abide by public rules. So they can immediately blackball you if they don't believe they want you in the NFL. So, what's over the line and who can control it?
That's an interesting point. Bringing up that if you don't answer the questions that they ask you, you can be blackballed and have contracts cut short and all sorts of things happen. Steve, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's too much to ask a player their sexual preference, or?
I mean, it's an interesting topic to even bring about, and it's very sensitive, it's especially, with the community in itself, for you to kind of, in an interview for, a job, have on your application or something of your sexual preference. I don't think that's right. So for you to kind of, I guess, ask these players these questions about their sexuality before they come into a team, I feel like that's a little bit too much, because that's not judging them on what they can bring to the table as far as coming to your team and contributing to your organization. But you're looking more so to the outside parts of what they can do in their social life, which you can't control, because at the end of the day, you're a human being and you have your own rights. You can go do what the hell you want to do. But when you're in your office or you're at your job, you're supposed to do your job. So that's basically what the interview should only be about.
But these guys live, sleep, and breathe football. That's what they do for a large portion of the year. That's all they do. So what about other players' personal freedom to feel like they're in an environment where they're not being viewed as sexual objects? Are they owed that right? Not to say that's what it is, but are they owed that right? Just something to consider. Ty, what are your thoughts?
Man, don't consider that. I go to work, I walk around every day, and a bunch of people view me as a sexual object, But I go on, and still I rise, and I go about my business. But back to the question at hand, I think this question is completely it's out of bounds, it's over line. I'll tell you where it goes over line. I think it's okay in light of the Te'o situation to ask if you have a girlfriend. I think it's completely over line to ask, do you like girls? Are you interested in girls? These are straight up direct questions that really they bear no importance on how the player is on the field. You have game tape. You now have their measurables at the combine. You don't need to ask them about what they're thinking about. If you're worried about publicity, and maybe that's why you won't pick a player who perhaps is homosexual, think about all the teams that take a chance drafting people who have multiple DUIs, beat up their girlfriends, slap their mama, but you're worried about publicity because the player might be gay. So, our priorities are in the wrong place, but to make a long story short, it's a personal matter and stay out of it. That's what I feel.
But the reality is lots of teams do consider those other things when it comes. The NFL is a business, and if you have a bad record, bad rap, or what may be considered a bad image or something that is not marketable, which I'm not saying that is not marketable, your sexual preference, whatever it may be, they take those things in consideration. There have been players who've lost contracts because of getting into too much trouble in the past. or because someone didn't like something that they did or said in the public eye. So it
Yeah,
happens all the
Man,
time.
if you can play, you're fine.
Right,
That's the most
and
important.
really, you can only control the things that you can control, which is what they do when they're in, the football arena and they're in your eyesight, because everybody has their own different social life. And to try to say, you can ask them questions, and who's to say that they're not going to lie to you, and then come out later or something like that. There's probably gay players in the NFL right now. I'm pretty sure there are. And, they're just not coming out, but I'm pretty sure some of the players know about it. And it's what it is. It's what it is right now. I mean, if you really want to go into it, the Miami Heat got a gay player. He just openly gay about it. And
They winning.
He trying to cover it up, but it ain't really covering up nothing. But, hey, everybody making fun of him. He making fun of himself. So, hey, it's a part of America right now. And, you just got to move on from it.
Okay. So that leads me to my next. Go ahead, Banks.
To counteract that, Steve, let me say you're not right by talking about Emeka's father like that. But to also continue on, even though that it's not right and it should depend, but I mean, still the underlying factor when you go into a job, do people look at me as a man that happens to be black or a black man, and will I get the job because of my skin color, or because of my background, or because of my characteristics? That definitely plays to play in people. The NFL is a microcosm of how society is run right now. I mean, I don't want to indulge into people's personal business, but if someone has an issue with a player that is gay within the locker room, do you think that might cause diversity within the locker room? The answer is yes. The answer would be yes, and it would be more hesitant and weary. I mean, not to crack any jokes, but we seen the episode of the game where they had a gay player within the locker room, a gay center, and Malik was not having it. he made dude lose his job and lose his starting center spot. So, I mean, if that happens on a TV show, do you think that happens inside an NFL locker room? I believe so. Yes, I believe yes.
Quite possibly, yeah, because you got guys that don't
like that.
Yeah, you got guys that are weary of it, especially if you go back to the Super Bowl. You got guys like, I can't have a gay player in my locker room, and I'm pretty sure half of the players think like that too. But the reality is, there are probably already gay players in your locker room. They just ain't saying nothing.
Which leads me to my next question, if they're allowed that. What about the talk about allowing women into the NFL and the first woman ever being able to try out for the NFL just a few days ago? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I heard that went horribly, horribly, horribly wrong. So let's take some time and let's bring some real people to the forefront. Who's that UFC fighter? Let's start with her. Let's start with what's Sam? What's the name? The 8-year-old Sam? Let's talk about her. But I mean, you gotta do some proper screenings before you bring these women in. You got men getting concussion. You will break these beautiful petite things, man. You gotta be.
That comment can be seen as sexist as Ty.
Man, say what you want, man.
But what about if Brittany Griner played football? Okay.
Gosh.
Okay, and that's all we got, First Contention fans. This has been our bonus question. Sorry we drug it out so long. We'll see you next time for First Contention.